Hi, I'm Alex. Welcome to another video of talking through setting up your first integration with Getint. Today we'll be talking about the main part of building your integration, which would be mapping. We can segment the mapping in Getint into three parts. First one will be issue type mapping, which is mapping things like tasks, issues, incidents, epics, and so on. Then mapping fields within those, so things like title, description, any custom fields, and so on. Then mapping values within those fields, so mapping like priorities, assignees, reporters, and so on. As a disclaimer, I'm working on Jira Azure DevOps, but I'm mostly explaining the idea of the tool, so that doesn't matter much. And I'm working on version 1.81, so some things may look different for you, and some things may work a bit differently. Since we release new updates every 2 weeks, striving to perfect the tool. So the way to go about the first part, which is issue type mapping, you can go about it the manual way. Simply go with the epic to epic and so on. Simply find your perfect integration one by one. We can see that Getint already maps the kind of default fields by itself, or we can go with the quick build option if you have a lot of fields, a lot of issue types. That's a good way to start, since Getint will map all of the issue types and then fields by itself, leaving you only to basically tweak it to your specific use case. So we can see that mapped an epic to an epic with basic fields like title, a description, assignees, and so on, and then a task and then a subtask as well. So can hit apply, and basically we have done our issue type mapping. Next will be field mapping, and to configure that we have to go into a specific issue type and simply click on it, and this is where we decide basically what fields should be mapped. With the arrows you decide when the sync should happen, whether it should be one directional or bidirectional, and decide when the sync should happen. So either only on creation, only on update, or both. Keep in mind that this is the same option when you click on the field mapping, and you see these options here. So this is the same thing. And we can go on to adding new field mappings. So to do so, simply click on this button here. And let's say that I want to sync Jira's tags with Jira's labels with Azure DevOps tags. Now we can see that Getint mapped issue key to tags, which might not be quite optimal for us. So let's hit apply and return, and let's go again. Start with whatever side of the integration you want. Find the fields that you want to sync, and there you go. We have a new mapping. But what if I don't want to map tags to labels in Jira, but I'd like to have tasks coming from Jira to have a specific tag, basically telling me that they are under the scope of the integration. So let's delete that, and let's do the Azure tags and set it to a fixed value. If this was a drop-down field or like a choice type, you would have a drop-down here to choose from, but since it's simply a tag, I can input a value. So let's say that the tag will be under sync, and now let's set it only on creation, so that any task created in Jira then would be that meets the scope of the integration. Let's say I applied some filters, then we'll go over to Azure DevOps, and now it would have this tag under sync. Okay, so let's keep going. What about if we found a read-only field and we wanted to sync it to the other side? Getint has already mapped a field like that, which is created by and mapped it to a reporter, but we can't change the direction. Since we have no access to this field, we can only store that information somewhere else. So we're gonna do the same, and I will store the field, which is the Jira URL of the task, which is read-only, and I will map it to a custom field that I have created previously, and I will basically store that information there. We can see that again, Getint picked up that the field is read-only, and I can't even change the direction. So we'll be simply storing that information in this custom text field. Okay, so one last option when it comes to field mapping, we can merge fields. So usually, let's say you have a lot of fields on one side, you don't really want to store them or need to recreate the whole setup on the other side, but you still want to store that information somewhere within the item. So let's select this merge field, and now let's say that I want the task in Azure DevOps to have the in the title to have the ID of the task in Jira. Once we select the field, we can see that the option to select where we want to merge that field pop up. Let's select the title, and there we go. We have merged a field. So that pretty much covers field mapping. We can go on to field mapping. Okay, sorry, welcome back. I had to cut the video. We can go on to value mapping. An example of value mapping would be this priority field, where we can see that Getint has already mapped the values for the specific field for us. So let's go to one that Getint hasn't probably mapped, and that would be assignees, since mapping users can be quite difficult, since the usernames can vary quite a bit. So let's so to add a new mapping, simply here you have this option to map available options, and you can select from the drop down values, and there is that. You can set the direction again with the arrows, and what it basically does is when the specific field has the value unassigned, it will be unassigned as well on the other side, and when it is Alex demo in Jira, it will be Alexander Szymczak in Azure DevOps. One nice thing to point out is when you select the field, select the value, there is this automatic option to merge, and basically when it is either Alexander Szymczak or unassigned, it will be unassigned in Jira, but important to note, when it goes from Jira, it will be always unassigned in Azure DevOps because it goes from top to bottom. I accidentally deleted the unassigned option, so let's map it again. Below you can see this option, when mapped options not found or value as empty. You can select this here to edit, and let's say that I would set the value to be Alexander Szymczak. And what this does is, if there isn't a value mapped, Getint cannot find it, it will always set it by default to Alexander Szymczak. So that's quite a handy option. And just to mention, for specific to Azure DevOps integration, Getint has this nice feature, which is when you have a lot of assignees mapped, you can save it or convert it to a shared mapping and then use it across different integrations to save you some hassle. Okay, so once we are in this in a field mapping configuration, there is this option of formatters. So when you can see that some of the fields like description or comments display in a kind of HTML or CSS type of code, there may be a fix for it here. If not, please reach out to us, we'll try to fix it. And another thing is if you can see all of the issue types or field mappings and Getint cannot basically catch them, you can go into the Jira and select the fetch whole Jira instance fields, and not only the fields on the creation item stage. So that could be of some help. So let's try to maybe sync a task with all these options, which would be, oh, we are missing a merge field here. Let's go Jira ID again, merged into the title, apply. And let's remember the options. We have the unassigned, but if there is a different option mapped in Jira, it will be Alexander Szymczak on the other side. And we have the title plus ID in the title. The tag should be _sync on creation, and then we should have the URL of the task stored in the Jira URL ticket. So let's try just that. Let's create a new one. Let's call it test 4. Let's hit create and maybe set the assignee to Alex demo. We can go into latest synced items. Oh, I didn't save. Let's save. Latest synced items 1011. Okay. It didn't catch anything yet. It should be there in a second. Okay, there it is. It's syncing the item. It is completed. Okay, and let's go to the Azure DevOps. And we should be able to find the synced item. And we can see that it is test 4, which is what the name of the ticket, the ID dem 47 within the title. Another thing is that we have the URL of the task in the custom field, and that it was assigned to Alexander Szymczak, even though we don't have it mapped in the integration screen here. Basically, it didn't find the mapping for the Alex demo, so it mapped it to Alexander Szymczak. So I can say that our integration is complete. And if you have any feedback or you have some questions, feel free to ask in the comments or reach out to me, and I will see you on the next video.